Yeah, you can.
Right
You can. Yeah, that's good. Right,
Right.
right there.
You can hear me?
Ah.
Cool.
All right. Count us in.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. What up?
Ow.
Whoa.
Splash zone.
The money shot.
Welcome to another episode of Necro Electric. I'm your host, Sean D. Skellington. This is my dream girl, Kylie Skellington. And here's Harry Potter wannabe, our sound person, Jordan.
She's better than Harry Potter, okay?
Bitch, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Hermione who?
Thank you.
Today we have a special guest from Deep in the Heart Film Festival,
Yeah.
Samuel.
Hey guys.
How's it going,
Hello.
Hello.
Doing good. How you guys doing?
dude? Pretty good. Before we get too deep into it, I know you guys are watching this shit on YouTube, so hit the button.
Yeah. Don't be afraid. We won't email you or anything. We just want to know that you're watching and that you love us.
Yeah. Hit it if you love us.
All right, since this is Samuel's first time on Necro Electric, he
Yeah.
has to do Who the Hell Are You?
Yeah.
He knows what's coming.
I love the dread in everybody's voice. They're like, ah, shit.
Yeah. All right. Hit me with it.
Question one.
I am putty in your hands. Let's do this.
Vampire, werewolf, warlock, or monster hunter?
All right. So I'm going to go long answers to get to your answer. I wish my wife could be here because you know a lot about me by who she is. So she's kind of fair skin and dark hair, and so she has that real vampire. And I always call her my vampire princess.
Nice.
But I'm more of like,
Kinky.
you know. But I'm more of
I call her all kinds of things.
no.
Don't worry about it.
Hey man, you got to do it, especially love of your life. I'm just, despite the bald head, I'm like one hairy guy. So it's like I'm the werewolf.
Gotcha.
Werewolf.
So she's,
Boom. Tally one for werewolf.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
All
go.
right, question two. What kind of porn do you watch?
All right. So along with that whole fair skin, dark hair, I am an OG Dita Von Teese fan.
Oh, there you go.
Like
okay.
I liked Dita Von Teese probably before Marilyn Manson liked Dita Von Teese. So,
She
Like some
is an
burlesque,
amazing lady.
like real artsy kind of.
well, if you know OG Dita Von Teese, it wasn't burlesque.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I guess
And I'll leave it at that.
She was more
Googling
like
to do.
Betty Page, right? Before she got
started out
burlesque.
yeah, of course. And I got a big thing for
Yeah.
Betty Page too. So
I've seen some older pictures of Dita Von Teese, and she looked a lot like Betty Page too, which is why I think a lot of people got into her.
Yeah. And she's great. I mean, like my wife and I have been to 2 of her recent shows.
Oh.
But I actually, so there was a time before she did her own circuit thing, she actually, I had a job in Vegas, and my wife, she'd already knew that, that I had an affection for Dita and cool with it and all that. But this was a time where she was going to be basically at the, so in MGM, there's a Crazy Horse Saloon. I don't know if y'all heard about that.
Yeah.
It's based out of Paris, which, at some point I want to go to Paris and go to the Crazy Horse there. But this is kind of a version of it, and it's really cool. But it's like really high end burlesque type stuff. But she was going to guest there, and it just happened to be hitting at the right time that I was going to be there for business.
Just so happens.
No
You
pre-planning,
didn't plan
man.
that at all.
So I was like, hey, honey, I'm going to be there. Do you mind if I go to that show? And she's like totally cool with it.
She didn't want to go with you?
Well, she just, we have 3 boys. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is a business thing. But
Yeah.
I will say, though, she had a chance the next time we went to Vegas for business. She came with. Dita wasn't headlining at the
Right.
Crazy Horse, but we both went to the Crazy Horse because I was like,
Nice.
you've got to check this show out. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, if you ever go, it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah. Next time we go to Vegas, which who
Yeah.
knows when that
everyone else was going to like Cirque du Soleil and all that, and I
Yeah.
just like snuck off and went to the Crazy
Yeah.
Horse.
Awesome. It's usually those smaller, like off the beaten path things that are worth it.
Totally.
You know?
Oh, this is
Like,
totally
MGM's not off the beaten path.
No, but it's like a smaller part inside of the MGM, right?
Yeah.
Like if
it's like a little. It really is actually small compared
Yeah.
to. I guess I'm assuming all the other ones. That are out.
We always stay off of the main street there. We
Yeah.
always stay at the Hard
Yeah.
Rock.
Yep. Cool.
I have never been to Vegas, and I don't really have a desire to go to Vegas for some reason. Like anytime somebody's like, "We're going to Vegas," I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't gamble, and I guess if I was,
so much more to do there.
Yeah.
And maybe if I went with people who actually knew other stuff to do, then I would have fun. But I like most people that I know that like to go to Vegas, they just go there to gamble
So when are we going
and
to
strip
Vegas?
clubs, and I'm like,
talk to Oscar now and figure it out. I mean, even at the Hard Rock, like before all the COVID stuff, obviously, but they have it's called the Garage, I think. And they have huge bands play, and it's like a small venue. But last time we were there, I think Blink-182 was playing in the in the Garage.
Okay.
Yeah, I've really only gone on business. My wife and I keep telling ourselves we want to do like a 24-hour situation. We both love poker. In fact, this is how cool my wife is. She taught me poker.
Nice.
She's way better than I am at a lot of things. But yeah, so we want to just do like a 24-hour. We want to fly in, do some cheap Spirit flight, fly in, spend 12 hours there at a poker table, and just fly home.
Hell yeah. See what you come back with.
Exactly.
I'm a blackjack guy.
Yeah.
Me and a bunch of my friends were all Irish, and we used to do this Irish like weekend in Reno.
Yeah.
And it's just we just stay up Red Bull and vodka, or Red Bull and Jameson.
24 hours.
Red Bull and Jameson, up or down there.
Well, it keeps you up at like 3 a.m. when you're still playing.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so if you guys don't know, you're the organizer and founder of Deep in the Heart Film Festival, right?
Yep.
You want to tell everybody what it is about? And
yeah, sure. So my film school buddy and I, we ended up becoming best friends. In fact, I was a groomsman in his wedding. And we just been, he's a great guy, Lewis. So he moved here with his wife about 10 years ago, maybe 11 or 12 at this point. And he and I started to collaborate again on film and doing stuff just for contest or, short films for fun stuff. And in the time that we had separated, I actually work in the video industry. In fact, I work up in Dallas for corporate video type things right now. But I like to have my free time. That's my hobby is film just as much as my work is. It's just something I love. And so we just started collaborating, and we went up got on the film festival circuit and started putting our short films out there. Had a great time. And one day, after our second film was going around the circuit, we're driving through Waco, and he's like, man, I think Waco needs a film festival, And so we started to talk to different people who were kind of, good people to know in the area as far as arts are related. Fiona Bond with Creative Waco and stuff like that. We even talked to the
like Steve Veracruz and all those guys.
I think, yeah. Sorry. And so we even talked with the Chamber of Commerce at one point because we just wanted to handle the art side. We wanted them to handle the business side, but thank God that never happened. I mean, nothing against Chamber of Commerce. It's just a film festival is not the beast they need to start trying to get on. But yeah, so we just had a lot of people go, oh yeah, I tried to do that or whatever, and I don't knock them. I just don't think there was the right time. But somehow we just came in at just the right time that Waco was saying, hey, we need to pop up the arts. We need to get things going, and so. Things started rolling for us, and we started moving and grooving. And for us, filmmaking's in our heart, and that's all we cared about. We haven't made any money off this thing, and since we started, that's not the point. We're not
it's passion.
Exactly, it's a
Passion project.
But so we started doing that, and it just became a cool thing that grew, and we hit it big our first year, but then we just kept growing after that, and then really the reason I wanted to talk with you guys is because we found out that Waco loves its horror films. Waco loves its WTF stuff.
Yes, it does.
And we got like huge crowds for those, and we were surprised. So after like our second year, when we just saw 2 years in a row where we had huge audience for that, we just started leaning into it. We're like, this is awesome. So
Hell yeah. And people are gonna yell at me. So question 3, where are you from?
Okay, so I'm from a little town just northwest of San Antonio called Bulverde. Bulverde, Texas. Yeah, I was born in the Como County Hospital.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Yeah. I'm Texan through and through.
What's the population in there? Is that like a teeny tiny?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty teeny.
Some of those outskirt ones, like when I drive back home to California.
Yeah.
I got pulled over and I can't remember the name of the town now.
I don't remember.
So 10 people must have lived in that town.
Right.
There was one cop at one road.
Yeah.
The highway that turned into their.
That was his only
main
job.
Street.
Yeah.
Stop you.
You were the moneymaker, basically. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
tell me about it. Oh, God, I was going to my grandmother. My grandmother was in hospice. She was dying. And I'm driving down.
That's terrible.
Yeah, sorry.
Bring it down. Well, no, but
Shout out, Grandma.
No, because I was going down. She was in College Station, and I was going down Highway 6 to go get her. And this guy pulled me over. I was going like 1 mile over the speed limit,
Oh, shit.
and he pulls me over. And
Bitch.
yeah, and I'm like, well, sir, I said, I didn't realize I was speeding. I said, I am on my way. This is gonna be my grandmother's last night on Earth. I am on my way to go say goodbye to her. Dude wrote me a ticket.
Oh.
Dude wrote me a ticket.
How dare he?
I called in later, just to try to talk to the whoever, the DA or whoever handles it. He's like, well, that's just the way it goes. And I was just like,
Jeez.
I got out of a ticket
Of
by.
course you did.
How?
I should not have
becomes the
started.
tits.
I should not have started that story like that. That's a really bad way to start that story. No, okay, so I was
Fashion?
actually no. I'm a
right.
good girl.
Let's all say what we think
They all
Jordan
say
did.
No, I was actually on my way to be a part of a Pepsi commercial in Austin, and I was speeding because I was late. And the cop pulled me over, and he was like, "So where are you headed?" And I was like, "I'm actually going to a commercial shoot in Austin." He goes, "Really? What for?" And I said, "For Pepsi." And he was like, "Okay."
Was he a Coke
You're not
fan?
lying to me, are you? And I was like, "No, I'm really not." I was like, "I could like call my agent if you want." He's like, "No, just don't speed anymore, okay?" And I was like, thank you so much. So I got out of that. I guess he thought I was like a big star or something. I should have been
Jeez.
like, yes,
I better use that excuse next time.
Maybe sorry.
I can't tell you how many times every woman I know gets out of a ticket.
I've never gotten at any.
Really?
That's the first one. Usually I
Okay.
get tickets.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. When we first moved here, we've been here almost 2 years now. We live in Woodway. Yeah, and I got pulled over like day 2 or whatever
Yeah.
for going 3 miles over the speed limit, and the guy just wanted to. He was just like, "What are you doing in this area?"
Yeah, he was more
Oh,
suspicious
yeah.
about what you were
probably
doing in the
California plate or
neighborhood.
something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's more just like tattoos or whatever, because
Oh, gotcha.
there's a lot of elderly people
Yeah,
that live
yeah,
in our
yeah.
area, Yeah, and he was like, how fast you're going? Because my truck has like the old school speedometer and a digital. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly. I have two speedometers, dude.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, well, we heavily monitor this area. I was like, cool, I live right there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Texas
He
cops
still
do.
gave me the ticket, though.
They don't play. They don't play.
Yeah.
I was actually going down Valley Mills, and I was on my way to an interview. And there's a place on Valley Mills that is like kind of downhill, and if you don't watch, you will go over the speed limit, and it's like 45 right there, so it's real stupid slow. And I don't know, I was probably going 50. This cop pulls me over, and he like, I'm rolling down my window, I'm like kind of nervous, I'm like real young, and he like, before I'm even like this far, he's like knocking on my window, and I'm like, so I like get my window down, and he was like, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And I was like, no, I'm this little like 19-year-old girl like going to work, and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on my way to an interview. That's not a reason to speed. And I was like, okay. And he gave me a ticket, and I was like, I don't know if you were just like hopped up on some coke or if you were mad at somebody, but I don't know why you had to scream at me. Like,
I got my first ticket on my 18th birthday.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised the cop didn't say happy birthday to me.
Messed
That's a
up.
dick
It
move.
was messed up. Yeah, it was messed up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Were
when
you
I got
speeding?
pulled over in that little town.
Were you speeding?
When I got pulled over in that little town, the guy was like, because he was like 3 a.m, and I had like I have a Chihuahua Doberman and a Chihuahua Poodle. And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going to LA. I got like a thing going on and visiting family. And he's like, well, what the hell are you doing out there? It's like, what does it matter, man?
Yeah, why do you care?
And then
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in a band and I play
You should have
music
said,
and
I'm
do stuff."
going
He's
to
like,
be in a Pepsi commercial.
I know, I should have, right? Just flashed in my tits.
Yes, officer, I'm going to LA.
But he was like, you're in a band? He's like, what band? I was like, you've never heard of it. It's a metalcore band. I swear you've never heard of it. He was like, you got CDs? I was like, yeah, I got a whole backpack full of them. Like, you want one? He's like, that's bribery. I was like,
Oh, you kidding me? You brought it up.
yeah. I was
asked
like,
me.
do you want one or not? He's like, I can't. He's like, if one ends up over on that sidewalk over there, like, I'll pick it up later. I was
Did
like,
you throw it out
Yeah.
the window?
yeah, I just
I didn't know
tossed
that.
it. Yeah, and then he still gave me the ticket. It was a warning ticket.
Okay. That's
I didn't have to go back for it.
I get myself in trouble so much. I would have broken the thing instead of.
Yeah.
I didn't see the lights behind me as I'm trying to get out.
Just go far enough that he has to really walk to get it and just take off.
Yeah. Cool.
So are you guys having your festival? I mean, obviously with everything going on, are you postponing it or are you putting it off until next year? Because I know that there's a big one coming up, right?
In August, right? 16th?
We are postponing. That's actually a recent development. Like when we first talked about coming on, it was like, oh, we're going to be in person. And then, they were having the restrictions come in. And so we were just scrambling to figure out what we could do. Because normally we're at the Hippodrome. And we were like, all right, so we don't want to be inside. We want to try to, we asked our filmmakers, do a survey, like, what do you want to do and all that. We decided to go, like, outdoor, and it was going to be really cool. I mean, we had plans, and if we ever do it again, I'm not going to say, but it was, like, just really cool plans to go outdoor, like, have an all-night thing. It was just going to be awesome. And then the whole nothing's happening. No outdoor meet above 10. No whatever. We emailed the mayor and just said, hey, is there any way you can make an exception? We're going to be really, obviously we're going to be,
diligent with all the precautions.
And I respect exactly what he's trying to do. I mean, everyone's trying to do the best they can with the information they have, and he couldn't make an exception. And it's kind of when that happened, our whole staff kind of just made the decision that we just need to call it and just go online. So we had already planned. In fact, even a couple of years ago, we wanted to have an online component because we run 2 theaters side by side. So even if you get a VIP pass, you can't see all the films. So we wanted something anyway that somebody could go in online. You could, you buy a VIP pass, come to see the films you can, get in, get out, get to the parties, get to the panels and all that. You can't see it. Well, guess what? Now you get to see it for a week online. So we'd already wanted to do that, and so it's great. Well, let's just figure it out now because there's a lot of film festivals that are doing the same thing. We knew that was our baseline. We knew we weren't gonna cancel at all. So so we're going online. We're pushing it back to, I believe our start date is going to be September 24th. So it is going to be an online thing. We are still doing everything we can to bring our own kind of special sauce to the mix. Stuff that we would do anyway as an in-person film festival. And so
I think people will be into it. Like I noticed a lot of Comic-Con and everything else. They're just having they're still having the panels. It's just all online. Yeah, which isn't bad.
We're adapting.
I don't know. I watched Dave Chappelle had like a online. No, well, it wasn't online. He had a live show that came out several weeks ago, and what they had is it was a smaller stage. I think it was in his hometown. And they had a smaller stage, and they only had a limited number of seats. Everyone had to wear masks, and they had 2 seats in a taped area, and they were 6 feet apart, so that he could still have the show, but everybody was So I think in the future, hopefully in the near future, they'll be able to start doing stuff like that. But obviously, your experience is kind of tainted if you're having to sit far away from people and wear a mask, and you can't interact at all with the performers or with other people. And but I think it's an interesting concept to be like, we are only selling a limited number of tickets. You have to sit this far apart. You have to wear a mask type thing.
No, completely. I mean, again, we tried everything we could do with the distancing that would have to have taken place in the theaters. The ticket sales that would have just brought us even weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
And then again, we decided, hey, let's try an outdoor venue thing. We would have the distancing as well there, plus the masks. We'd cordon off things. Just even all the logistics to get into that. It was just. I mean, I don't envy anyone right now who's trying to do anything we're doing because everyone's running the same problems we are.
Yeah.
So until I guess until we get herd immunity or we get some kind of vaccine that comes out as viable, which could be 6 months to a year.
Yeah. Well, if they want to space the seats out a little bit in the theaters in the future, I'm not opposed to it. It's a fucking bitch sometimes when people like get in your elbow space or somebody's just talking next to you.
That's why I love the big ones, the recliners, because you're automatically kind of like far away. So of course,
I love the Hippodrome because with
so nice.
Yeah, with the they'd come and bring you beer. And,
Man, I want to go see a movie.
I know. I miss going to the movie theater.
I'm ready to see Tenet when it comes out. I'll probably be one of the ones in the theater with the masks, 6 feet apart. So that's just going to be what I want to do. One of the things that we love about the Hippodrome, that's the reason we chose it, is because we went to a lot of film festivals and their schedule's packed. I mean, but there's no time for like a break for food. I mean, so if you want to eat, you got to step away from a block if you want to watch something. Mm-hmm. The Hippodrome's like, oh yeah, just order food. You eat there, watch your show.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Hippodrome.
And they actually have really good food too.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's great.
Wine and it's not
Fried
just
pickles.
like popcorn. You can get like whatever, a steak or whatever you want. You know?
And they treat us really well when during the week that we host. They're giving us all the meals and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Hippodrome. We love you.
We got time for an ad real quick.
Yes. So this episode is brought to you by Mod Ministry. Mod Ministry merch creates for the edgy woman, the kind of woman who works hard but plays much harder, who embraces femininity but tests the societal limits. We are not for the faint of heart. We are bold. We are beautiful. Check out Mod Ministry Etsy page for handmade lingerie. 5-star rated seller since 2014.
Ooh, you almost pulled a Scoob.
I almost did. It was blah, blah, blah. It was on my tongue. So do you get, is it mostly just local talent that submits, or is it all over Texas?
All over Texas.
Oh, okay.
We have a love for Texas filmmakers, but the big draw for us, and the reason a lot of people come, in fact, that survey we sent out to people, it was also just, what do you like best? Mm-hmm. So we pull in like a great mix. We have local, we have just international stuff. In fact, our first year we actually had a premiere of a film from Paris, France. I mean, it was just like,
wow.
I'm like, how'd you hear about this? Why are you here? But they came to Waco. They
That's
were
awesome.
Doing the whole thing, running around, and our second year was Germany. Our third year we had someone from Singapore. I mean,
wow,
yeah,
nice.
So we pull in stuff from all over. We definitely pull in films that have been award-winning. In fact, last year it was on the short list. It's like the top 10 short films for the Oscars. They go to the top 5 in terms of the ones that are eligible to win, but they have a short list that they put out before they're the top 10. And these were some filmmakers from Houston.
Wow.
Who got in the top 10, and it is
that's neat.
An amazing film. Yeah. I mean, it is insanely good. So if you ever get a chance to see it, I just blanked on the name. It's the girl's name. But so they did that. In fact, they actually submitted another one this year, which we're going to be screening.
Nice.
The name of the film is.
The one this year is called Lockdown. Yeah, we'll give you the notes. The one this year is called Lockdown.
Cool.
But it's a different story than obviously the one they had last year. But it's just as good. And yeah, I mean, we want to celebrate good local talent, but for us, it's almost like the bar's a little higher for locals, because we want them to be able to compete with the international and the award-winning and the national. We want people to go in and go, yeah, that's awesome. That's our area. That's Waco or McLean County.
Have you heard that we're making a movie?
I did hear you're making a movie. Better be good.
Yep.
So does
we're going to set the bar.
Said I.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Except I'm a horrible actress. I do not act.
Oh,
You did
I'm
good
just
so far.
awkward. I come off as awkward and funny.
It's a
when I'm
vampire
not trying
comedy
to be awkward and
mockumentary,
funny.
so
Okay.
it actually works in her favor.
It works.
Awesome.
I'm excited to shoot my stuff. I have an idea for how I want this character to be, and I am really excited to actually get to shoot it. We've had so many setbacks for me to actually for me and Oscar to actually shoot our stuff. Like I had a black eye,
I just went on a
and then
bender.
then I apparently
Nice
went on a
fight back at
bender.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, so I'm every time that we're like, okay, Sean, we're ready to shoot, something happens and we're like, oh, we're gonna have to push it back. Sorry.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, with film,
totally.
submitting films, also making them, like
Yeah.
you have to do the workaround of everything.
Yeah, we had this great short film, and the script was tight. Lewis and I were doing all this pre-production on it all the way through December, January. We were ready to shoot it. We were going to shoot it mid-March, and it just all got screwed.
Yeah, man.
And it's this great, it's a horror comedy as well. Just having fun with it. We found the best location. We're out up in it's just northwest of here, and we had some people with some land. They're going to let us shoot on it. It was going to be running through the woods, and
Oh, fun.
oh yeah, it was going to be a blast. And then it all just Yeah, but I
The
don't
whole
even,
world wants to
Fuck
shoot.
you, Rona.
I know.
I don't even know if we'll ever be able to come back to it. That's how
Yeah.
disappointing this.
That's
whole
how it is,
time
though.
Yeah.
Like you get this momentum for a project,
Yeah.
and then if something sets back, or if you have issues, you're like, oh, I don't even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, the budget was starting to balloon actually because we were having, we were going to have a fight scene, so we were bringing in a stunt coordinator, and then we did not expect the cost of all that.
Yeah.
And so we were just like,
Yeah.
maybe this is a good thing. I don't know.
If some filmmakers want to submit, how do they get a hold of you?
So we submissions open up through Film Freeway, and right now they're closed because we've already, for this year we've already gotten submissions. So we close it, during now till the festival. We usually open up, and I really don't know how this year's going to play out with things but we usually open up about anywhere from like the next day to about a couple weeks after the festival's over. So we actually haven't talked about when we're going to open up. But but once we do that, we usually put that up on our social media, Facebook or Instagram. We have Twitter, but we're barely on that. But so we announced, that we're going to open up for submissions and stuff. We'll let you guys know and spread the word.
I have a couple of buddies in LA that make films,
Awesome.
like Craig
Yeah.
Efros. He directed a horror movie called Hollow's Grove, and then they just finished a movie and released it on Amazon Prime called Dragonkin.
Nice.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's basically a movie that was filmed and taken up to about 80% done in the early 90s,
Right.
and then it was shelved. All the footage was shelved,
Yeah.
and they got the rights to the footage, and then they just basically made a movie with the footage that was
Nice.
previously there. It was meant to be like an epic, like Conan kind
Yeah,
of movie,
yeah.
and they turned it into their own like comedic.
Right.
Did
Kinda
they
like-
add scenes and stuff?
Kind of like
Yeah.
Kung Pao.
Yeah.
Have you seen Kung Pao?
No.
I don't know if you would like it. It's really funny. I can't think of the guy's name
It's
that.
like a slapstick kung fu movie.
Yeah, he takes kung fu movies, like old kung fu movies, and he green screens himself into them, and he dubs the voices, and it's ridiculous, but it's so it's something that you need to watch while you're
Yeah.
slightly drunk, so it's more funny,
Gotcha.
but it's still a funny movie.
So this is probably old enough that the people involved won't kill me. Back when in college in film school, we were helping this guy do he did a horror short film. Dude didn't know what he was doing. Just tragically did not know what he was doing, and it was a cluster, like big time. But they had brought in like goats, skeletons, blood, and all that. I mean, it's just like, and we were shooting in the summertime, and it smelled. He had no plan to get this thing finished, so they shot like about 80% of it or whatever, but it was like all this piecemeal crap. It was horrible. And so the crew basically took over and they revamped it. And they basically were like, okay, we got this scene shot, we need some glue right here, what's going to make this work?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was great after that, but they basically gave him a complete film that he could
Yeah.
run with.
Give
And
it
they
a
just
fighting chance.
Yeah, they gave him a fighting chance, turned into something. Poor guy. I mean, the guy just did not know what he was doing.
Sometimes you have to do mutiny on your director.
Oh, yeah.
You have
Totally.
to, because they're
Yeah.
like, I've done a couple projects with people where the director had no idea what they were doing,
Oh,
and I don't want to say that I am, I have all the experience in the world, but I've done some things, and so
She's done Pepsi commercials.
Exactly.
it didn't even air, Kylie.
The
God.
best ones never do.
No, but just to, be like, all right, we're going to take the script from you now, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to do our own things, and we'll make you feel like you're the one that's in charge. When in fact, I'm like, maybe we should be doing this over here. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And I'm like, yes, I know. It's,
No, it's crazy. I mean, being a film school guy, working on a lot of indie stuff that, you've never seen, you probably never will. But yeah, the first one I did coming out of film school, just did it for, shits and giggles.
Griggles.
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 Shrits and Griggles.
Trademark Griggles.
Hashtag Griggles.
Hashtag Griggles.
It's like grinning giggles.
Yeah, there it is. I knew I was going somewhere with that. We were basically going like 20 hours our first day. They were pushing us to 20 hours, and nobody was saying a thing. And I finally was and I was doing the audio. I was doing the audio on it. And I finally was just like, guys, I'm running on fumes here.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
you want me to come back when? And we left, and as we were leaving, everybody was like, thank you. I'm like, why the hell didn't you speak up?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know. I've always been my wife always says I'm always the one that gets in trouble, even though other people should be doing their thing.
Yeah, I have one of my best friends. He went to film school. His name's Mike TM. He's been on the show a couple times. Mike, he's a super talented dude, but I think sometimes he gets caught up in like the technicality that he learned in film school.
Yeah.
Like when we do music videos and stuff, he'd go around taping all the drinks. So there's I'm like, dude, forget wasting time doing that. Who cares? You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
You know, and stuff like that. Yeah. But you know, he makes sure he follows all the rules and dots all the I's and crosses all the T's.
Yeah. This guy, the guy that directed it, he's actually gone on to do bigger things, which I don't know why. The guy was incompetent because I mean, I'm dead serious. He walked in. Shout out. He walked in without a shot list, without anything, not prepared, and he just sat there for 20 hours going, well, what do you think we should shoot here? And I'm just like, wow.
And that guy's name was Christopher Nolan.
Oh, God. I would take that beating.
Yeah.
It wasn't Christopher Nolan. But no, it was someone else. But no, it's interesting, you know, to see where we were and where we are now and what people have learned and hopefully have learned.
So when people submit things for the festival, do you accept everything or do you have a pretty stringent...
We are pretty stringent. In fact, so this year's a little different. It's this is why I don't know about next year what's going to open up. Because as soon as like March hit, you could we were basically on this great track to have like the most submissions we ever had. It was going to be great. We knew where we were supposed to be and we were on that track. And all of a sudden March hits and it goes,
yeah.
So it just dropped off. So this year's a little different. We ended up probably taking more percentages because the ones that, you know, that were submitted, you know, we took them. But the great thing is they're really good. So we're very happy. But no, we usually take about 20% of all the films that come in.
Oh wow! Yeah, so that's not that many.
It's really not. There's a lot of people who are doing good and learning, and that's great. And so you know we do have reviews. We offer people if they want to once the festival's over and they want to know kind of what the reviewers wrote about, you know, their film. We always make sure that, you know, if they want access to that information, we'll give it to them. So,
good.
Because we feel like it's good for people to learn and grow.
Definitely.
And we ask our screeners to be
constructive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's going to be...
There's not internet trolls like,
this sucks!
Like,
fuck this piece of shit.
We've had to ask not to come back because it's just like, oh, that's brutal. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not true, but you could come up with a better way to say that. So that kind of stuff. And I mean, you know, I've learned and grown myself as a filmmaker, and I know I can look back at the first stuff I did and I'm like, my God, you know, what would I have told that guy?
Yeah.
You know, so I totally get it, but it's always a growth process. But we want to make that open for people. I mean, that's we as filmmakers are here for our filmmakers.
So do you have like a set of guidelines, or is it like a voting thing where you have like a panel of people and it's opinion based?
Well, we have it is, you know, it's always going to be subjective. We do on Film Freeway. It has a ranking system which allows you to rank something by, you know, sound quality, picture quality, you know, acting, editing, and all that kind of stuff. We don't always go by those, but we can use those as a metric to say, okay, here's why this film maybe was good, even though this was not that good, or whatever. I'm actually like, we all have different sort of things we want to see coming in. I'm very much, well, the whole thing about Deep in the Heart is we're a champion of story. Like, story is king. And if your production value is a little low, but your story's solid and you still engage us as screeners, then it's not even a big deal. Now, if your production value is super high, but your story's kind of lame, we've had people rejected from that. Like, you could be the best technical filmmaker you can. You can tape all the bottles down and all that kind of stuff. But if your story's boring, or if it's something, you know, I mean, sadly, people don't realize, like, an idea is cheap. It's the execution of it that's crucial. Like, everyone has the same idea. I'm really dreading, and I'm going to say this really clear. I am dreading the COVID stories coming my way this year. I cannot tell you how much. Can I say it again? I'm dreading the COVID stories coming my way this year. If you're going to send me a COVID story, please make that execution flawless. Make it unique. Make it something that nobody else will be giving me, because I swear to God, I'm going to get 1,000 of those if I get one.
Yes. Thank you for saying that.
Oh God. I mean, totally. And it's not just like the latest news kind of thing, but it's just like, and this is something I had to learn. Like Lewis and I, our first big film festival film was about someone who happened to have cancer. There's there's 1 million of those out there. Mm-hmm. And we had to learn, like we had to, there's some places we didn't get into and there's other places we did. We had to learn from that. Okay, let's make a more unique story. Let's figure it out better. And it's just, it's a learning process for everyone, but we always encourage everyone. I mean, if you do your research, you'll know what's on the circuit. So we always encourage everyone, to get plugged in. If you want to be a filmmaker and you want to be having films across the festival circuit, especially for short films, get plugged in with what's out there. Find out what stories are being told, so that you're not just giving them that same story over and over again.
Right.
We got time for an ad.
Go for it.
Yeah. This episode is also brought to you by Skellington Curiosities. Skellington Curiosities is the only curiosities and oddity shop in Waco, Texas, full of clothing, lingerie, accessories, oddities, and everyday curiosities. A spooky vibe 365. Visit us online at skellingtoncuriosities.com.
Boom. Come check out our market.
Yes, July 26th, Sunday from 12 to 4. We're having Skellington Market in the parking lot.
And pretty much, we don't really advertise this, but every week our store has new stuff in it. So
we're getting new stuff in all the time.
Yeah, so come and check it out.
Usually it's in limited quantities too. So we're not you got to come often if you want to find the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's what works.
What do you think about because when you first started making films, obviously from there to now, technology has just
wow, yeah,
immensely
made
things easier.
Not to belie my age, but yeah, we were doing my first student film was a 16 millimeter.
Yes,
so, which was fun.
Which is funny because now everybody wants the 16 millimeter LUTs.
Look, yeah. Totally. Well, and the great thing is, so we partnered with Kodak last year because they're basically popping out a new 8 millimeter camera that's actual 8 millimeter film, but with a digital interface.
Ooh.
So yeah,
fancy Kodak.
Yeah, very fancy. So they had a guy come out and represent that and show people. That was at our film festival last year. So film is making a good comeback, and Kodak is making it really cheap to be able to shoot on film, process it, kick it back to you, and so people can get that good look and feel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, as far as technology, that's some of the cool stuff that's out there. But yeah, to be able to now, I was editing. I do corporate work for my job. I was editing on my laptop at my Waco office, just today, and that's just not something you can say.
Yeah, just be able to color grade it just by clicking a button.
Yeah, turn the lights off behind you so you don't.
Yeah.
Have
well, the fact that people can shoot entire movies on their iPhone.
Yeah.
Is
totally
incredible to me.
Exactly.
It's not something. Even 10 years ago, that's not something that you could have done. You had to have a nicer camera to be able to do that. But it's you got a nice iPhone, cool. We could shoot a whole movie.
Yeah.
It's oh god.
Totally. You can buy little lens kits for cheap, $35. I highly recommend that. I think again, we want films from all over, from all qualities, as long as that story is strong. That's just. It's gonna translate through whatever product you use.
What's your favorite genre of movie that gets submitted?
Wow. I will say comedy because we don't get enough. We really don't.
Really?
People, yeah. Oh gosh. Come on. Dramas are through the roof.
Really? Yeah. Bunch of artsy.
It's easy.
Artsy drama guys.
As somebody who's done acting for a long time, it's easy to do drama.
Yes, it is.
Comedy's hard. You either land it or you don't. And when you don't land it, it hurts real bad.
It does hurt real bad.
But you can always do fake crying, and it's
yeah,
so good.
No, exactly.
That's another art form that's going to get flooded with COVID stuff is comedy.
Yeah.
No, again, do it right.
Yeah. Well, we're getting towards the midnight hour here.
Okay.
You want to do some shout outs?
Yes, I would like to do shout outs to I want to do shout out to the earrings that I got from Skellington Curiosities. I love them so much. They're my new favorite. And my favorite thing about them though was that people were the zombie ones because they're upside down.
Yeah.
People were staring at them and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a zombie hand. Look. And they're like, oh, okay.
And her grandma's like, cool it, Jordan.
Cool it with your zombie earrings and your demon stuff. We don't like that here. No, but just shout out to all the really cool stuff coming into Skellington Curiosities. I know we just talked about that, but especially all the jewelry. Like your jewelry collection is growing, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
I've been working on it hard lately.
Yes, there's so much stuff out there now, and I'm like, ooh, I really don't need to buy this stuff, but I'm gonna. So
Shouting out inanimate objects. Oh, shout out my guitar. It's dope.
hey, you know what? Whatever, man. Whatever.
No, I want to shout out Sam.
Thanks,
I think it's really cool that you guys, I mean, ever since we moved here, we've been really trying to push, like, everybody just make a podcast, make a show, make the,
Yeah, push the creativity, inspire, like helping inspire people to like get something going.
And it's awesome too, because I think a lot of people thought Waco is just, it's the shitty Bible Belt buckle, like
Right.
there's nothing here. But I think the last couple years I've seen
Blowing
so
up.
much creativity just coming
Yes.
out,
Definitely.
Blowing up.
So it's really cool, and I know you're playing a big part in that,
Thanks,
and
man.
a lot of respect for that.
For sure.
I'm really bummed it's not happening this year. 'Cause
Yeah.
I would have loved to go.
I am the most bummed.
But next
I
year.
was the one vote for going live still.
Yeah.
Finding some way.
Yeah.
Just some way.
It's okay. We'll watch it online this
Awesome.
year.
Appreciate it.
And we'll support any way we can. Just
Thanks,
hit us
man.
up,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do.
Yep.
We'll do.
You got some shots.
Shout out to your cousins in Austin.
Random.
their son just turned 2, and it was so nice to
Aw.
see them. We haven't
Macy and
seen them for a
Steven.
long time, and I don't know, just like when we moved here, like we don't have any other family in Texas at all. So it's like, and with the whole COVID thing, it's like I don't know when we're gonna see our family again
Yeah.
in California. So like to be able to go and see them even for a couple hours, it was really nice.
Yeah. I like to think
Shout out
a
Macy,
lot of our
Steven,
friends have
Holden,
become
and Carol
family.
and TJ.
Aw.
Tyler. That was TJ.
No, it's Tyler.
That was Tyler.
Shout out
Sorry,
to Tyler.
guys.
Cool.
What about you, man?
Yeah, sure. Well, I always got to shout out to my wife and my kids. I got 3 boys. My wife's amazing. Always will be. Anyway, I'm not going to go into details. But
If she's amazing, she's amazing.
Yeah.
she's amazing. She's amazing.
What's her name?
Her name is Shannon.
Shannon.
And,
Shout
What's
out
up,
Shannon.
Yeah,
Shout out.
and she is she's going to be an analytical chemist.
Wow.
She's a PhD candidate right now.
Wow.
Easy.
Some brains.
Yeah, she puts me to shame. big time.
Brains. Isn't that what they call
Yeah.
boobs?
She'll be my sugar mama.
Haven't you ever heard
Check
that?
out the
People
brains on
check
that
out the
broad.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Have you heard that?
Back in the 80s.
It's a thing, though. It's a thing.
I'm kidding.
It's a thing, though. I swear.
No.
Apparently
she'll-
not.
She'll be my sugar mama when it's all said and done.
Nice.
Nice.
You're set for life.
Yeah, I'll be set for life. But no, and then my 3 boys. I got an 18-year-old. He's in the Air Force, so shout out to him. He's up in
Cool.
Nice.
He's up to the north, and I got the other 2.
Is he in North Dakota?
Maybe.
I was just asking because I know someone that is stationed up there.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have to connect them or something.
No,
Nope,
that's
nope.
a bad, horrible mistake. It's a horrible mistake.
Yeah.
She's a terrible
I
person.
will say, I'm just like, I can't say things. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Okay.
He's doing a great job. He really is doing a great job. He's making me proud.
Nice.
So
Good.
yeah, and then I got a 15-year-old who's doing a great job, and a 10-year-old. So yeah, so them, and then just honestly shout out to the Waco community because really we wouldn't be where we are without them as the festival. I mean them coming along with us and jumping in and honestly, like I said, we found out we had this great horror WTF like audience that were just like feed us, give us more, and so we're leaning into that. That's what we love. So
Yeah, that's our whole life.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
everybody thought we were insane for opening, a Curiosities, and it's
Yeah,
very
totally.
spooky oriented, but people love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also shout out to Dita Von Tease.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she knows.
What's your Instagram handle, and where can people find all your information?
So for the fest, it's going to be Deep in the Heart FF, and that's I know that's on Instagram, and then you can just look up Deep in the Heart Film Festival on Facebook, find us there. Nobody wants my own personal one. I actually just I had for past like 100 some odd days I had a Corona stash. Never grew a mustache in my life.
Yeah.
Never. Will probably never again. but I did it, and I mean, it was.
Did you take pictures of it at least?
I do. I have pictures.
Oh,
Magnum PI
that's on my
style.
Instagram. That's on my Instagram. It was Magnum PI. My wife, who was like, when I first said, okay, I'm going to do this, she was hating it, and then she was just like, oh, don't take that one off. I was like, after a while, I was like, I'm done. I'm so done.
you learn to love the mustache. You do.
So I'm not going to get if people want to ask, I'll share my own personal one, but I don't want a deluge of people from my own personal.
Okay, so everyone, all those sleuths out there, go figure it out.
Yep. And then you get to see the Chronostash and all the story. It's an open account, so they can. I think so. They can friend me or whatever. They can at least go see it.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks
Yes,
for
thank you
having
very
me.
much.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.